was the most beloved comedy figure of our generation?
That's great, dude. That's a great question.
You know, because like nobody hates him.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, I think we're in. Welcome, guys. Welcome back to the Ready Simple podcast. We do the rolling start. You know how it is. Got my man Anthony Stiriti back.
Yeah.
The young Sly Stone, the better looking, more hair, less Botox Sly Stone.
Yeah, dude, somebody showed me, because I got the beard now, somebody showed me a picture of him in the movie Nighthawk, I think.
Oh, yeah.
Bro, they're like, you put on a pair of glasses, you look exactly like Stallone in Nighthawk.
It's a good
I
look.
gotta check that out.
It's a good look. But anyway, get back to the question. Yeah, who the most beloved comic? He's got to be up there. Him, Jerry Seinfeld, because a guy like Dave Chappelle is too controversial to be like universally beloved. Same thing with George Carlin. I mean,
Pryor was universally loved.
Yeah, Pryor, not Chappelle.
Oh, yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I feel like guys like, like Carlin and Chappelle are widely regarded by the masses, and comedians respect them.
Yes.
Like if you ask three comedians, all three of them are going to say one of those two is the best of all time.
Yeah.
One of those three guys, Carlin, Chappelle, or Carlin.
Right.
Carlin, Chappelle, or Pryor. But beloved, yeah, I mean, he's up there. You know who's probably up there? Fucking Fluffy. He sells out arenas, stadiums.
But is that more
and he's so like he's so not offensive.
Yes, but if he was,
but it's also Mexican, which doesn't cross
exactly.
over. Yeah.
If he was white, I don't know.
Yeah.
But I had a very hot take yesterday. I think it was.
Let's hear it.
And this is gonna really.
The last hot take you had was a homeless hot woman. I remembered that.
dude, that was. I was thinking about that on the way over here. That day when I recorded that podcast, I was just getting over being sick. I remember I showed up just drenched in. It was like midsummer. That place didn't have any AC. I was just drenched in sweat. So I'm glad
right
to be
off
back
the
here,
street,
right
so any
of
AC went out the door.
Exactly, yeah. But no, dude, I was thinking lately, like, everybody's like, oh, Carlin's the best of all time. Pryor, all these guys, best of all time. Eddie Murphy. I think maybe they put together the best body of work in like specials or movies of all time. But dude, with the way some of these guys like Sam Morril, Mark Norman, these guys are turning out material almost every day online, and it's killing. It's like, how do you not say that these are some of the better comedy minds of all time? Because they're keeping up with the digital age. Carlin, you can drop a special once a year, and it's brilliant.
But he didn't, which would make him. That's what made him an icon of his time. Is that he did one every other year, which no one was doing at that speed.
I feel like some of those guys are on a bunch of things that we don't see and appreciate. Like we see all these podcasts and know about these guys, but Carlin, he was all over like shows like the Midnight Special and like. Any TV show would have him. I'm sure his schedule was booked with so many live appearances that we just don't have archived everywhere.
That's true. But to your point, dude, I agree with what you're saying, because guys like Morrell and Norman and Joe List and all those guys who are actually club comics who are working every night, the stuff that they're posting are actually written bits, unlike a lot of comics, famous or otherwise, that just doing that crowd work shit online.
Yeah.
We can all fuck around with the crowd every night. But these guys, it's like a new bit.
New bits.
Yeah, on a new,
And one of probably my favorite right now is Chris Distefano.
Oh, dude, I grew up with that kid. I just texted him yesterday. He's doing the fucking garden on September 11th.
I want to go.
I'm gonna go.
Dude,
I mean, he's a friend of mine. I'm not even gonna ask for a free ticket. I'm just gonna go.
That's amazing.
We buy a ticket for my brother, and I go see Chrissy at the fucking garden.
Like third row, it's like $180. I was like, that's not bad.
I know,
like
dude.
Madison Square Garden, but it's like, dude, he posts these like weekly, every Sunday. He posts like a 30-minute video on YouTube, right? And it's not him necessarily doing crowd work, but it's him like you can tell the bits he's working on. So there's a through line to everything, but then he's riffing and he goes on these little tangents, bro. He is unreal at just riffing and just creating just like killer bits.
Yeah, he and I couldn't be more different. That's it. I mean, he knew me growing up, and I knew him, and we were like the same age, I think. But I based on our ages or because he had severe ADHD and I didn't. I started school earlier than him, whatever.
So you're from Queens?
Yeah. From Ridgewood.
In the Ridgewood, Queens? Yeah. Dude, in the video he posted yesterday or the day before, he goes, any questions at the end of the set? And then some lady raised her hand and goes, oh, my last name's Distefano too. Where in Italy is your family from? And he goes, Ridgewood, Queens.
So exactly. But what I was going to say, one of my favorite things he used to do, and he stopped doing it, I'll text him, encourage him to bring it back. He used to do Anxiety Tuesdays, Happy Anxiety Tuesday. Those rants, where he'd just be sitting in his car, or his 3-year-old daughter would be climbing on his head.
Yeah.
He's
the best.
Talking about what to ever give him anxiety that day. He's great.
I love that.
Chris Distefano was punched way above its weight class.
Yeah.
The YouTube show and stuff. Like,
dude, I'm so happy they brought back His Hyenas.
Oh man,
I've loved Giannis. I've only met him once in passing, and I want to get to know him better. Because the two of them together is just a perfect couple.
It's the best. They were great on Rogan, and Giannis Papa's special that he filmed in Comedy on State, I think it's called Mom Love. That's one of my favorite specials.
Is that the one where he talks about dating younger women? Because I think Pauly Toon, or maybe I think it was 800 Pound Gorilla did a
I know what you're talking about.
They animated it. And if you guys are listening out there, please check out. Just Google Giannis Pappas younger women cartoon. It is one of the funniest sketches one of the funniest bits rather. It was not a sketch, but bits. It was just he delivered it on stage during one of his specials. They animated it. It's so fucking funny. Okay. He's talking about I almost want to play it, but I don't want to ruin it for you.
I want to see that.
It's so good.
Dude, he's great.
Yeah,
he's the one who originated the what is it the thing that they just copied on SNL that Marcelo Hernandez did, and that's it. That's it. So he did like the whole
with his character. That he was playing a Puerto Rican girl. He used to dress up as a Puerto Rican girl.
I love going back and watching that because it's like you can see like Dan Soder, all these like young comics and it's like 2012 when those guys are only like 6 years into comedy. They're all like in the sketch and stuff too. So I like I think seeing stuff like that almost like. Not motivates you. It thinks like, oh, cool. So like the people that you're around right now doing shit with, like this,
you never know. Who
this
episode,
possible, this episode,
you might be the biggest. You might be the next Sly Stallone. I'm gonna be your fucking. What's Stallone's brother's name?
Whose brother?
Stallone's brother's name.
Frank Stallone.
Yeah, I'll be the Frank Stallone to your Sly.
Have you
seen? Frank Stallone had a #1 hit that he's still getting royalties on. I'll take it. Oh my God, yeah.
What's that?
Frank Stallone's hit. You know it. You got to know it, Mikey. I have it on my. It's a great fuck. It's like an '80s coked up montage jam.
Have you seen Fred Claus?
Yes.
They have all the like disgraced brothers in like an AA meeting.
Far From Over?
Yes, Far From Over. Far From Over. It's a good one. I mean, it's literally like the song you'd put in a Rocky montage.
Oh, that's so sick.
But yeah, no, to your point about like, because these are more mainstream comics that people know about. I mean, like, I grew up in New York. I was into comedy as a fan since I saw my first. I remember the first special I watched was 1992, Jamming in New York, George Carlin. I was 9 years old.
Wow,
8 or 9 years old. And then I started going to the comedy clubs because I was such a fan that my Aunt Sally brought me to Stand Up New York when I was 14. And then when we sat, I've told this story before on the podcast, but not in a long time. So it was me, my best friend Mike, and my sister Kelly. And my Aunt Sally, she took me from my 14th birthday. She's like, I'll take you to a comedy show. And that club was near where she lived. So we go to the club, sit down, and they're like, all right, what do you guys want to drink? And I'm like, and she's like, well, they'll have 3 Cokes and I'll have a Long Island iced tea. And they tell her, she's like, it's a 2-drink minimum and we have to charge you the alcohol price. She's like, that's fine. You can just charge them this rum and Cokes and I'll just put Coke.
Okay.
So immediately, I'm 14 years old, but I was slick back then. I was like, so they want to sell drinks. They don't give a fuck about what it took to get in here. Because back then, tickets to a comedy show were $5.
Yeah.
So I went back the next day. I went to high school. I went to school and told all my boys, like, yo, we should just buy fucking $5 tickets to a comedy show because a lot of us get hammered in there.
Okay.
They just want to. So we started going to the cellar when I was 15, 16 years old.
That's sick.
So I saw Burr with hair, Jim Norton with hair, Geraldo before he died.
Whoa.
All these guys.
And that's when you mentioned Stand Up New York. That's when it was like, that's when Seinfeld
was who's there regularly.
Like now it's like a almost like a bringer show place. I've done a couple of shows.
Yeah, it switches up.
Yeah.
Time changes everywhere.
But that room is great.
It is a great room. But having seen him live, like, I mean, Patrice O'Neal, I'd put him above some of these people like, what about this guy? Fuck that. Patrice O'Neal. Patrice
O'Neal is like the one guy, it just seems like he's like.
He was so far ahead of his time, no one could appreciate it.
Ahead of his time, exactly.
So far ahead of it.
Exactly.
He'd be the biggest podcaster alive today. He would dwarf Joe Rogan if he was still alive, 100%. I think, personally.
100. Yeah, he would be.
He's controversial, but smart, but also black, so there's no pushback.
And you'd like to hear what he'd have to say about COVID and all this other stuff going on.
Donald Trump, or anything, any of those other controversial things.
Yeah.
OnlyFans, I would love to know what he thinks about.
Yeah, for sure.
The gig economy, as we call prostitution now.
I'd love to hear what he thinks about Diddy. The whole shit going on now.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, but there's a thousand comments like that. I was thinking Jessica Kirson was probably one of the hardest killings I've ever seen. At one of Bill Burr's, every year he does a Producer No benefit, to benefit his family after his death, and he chooses the lineup himself, and they book it and whatever. And this is like probably 4 or 5 years ago, before she got her deal through Bill's production company to do her specials. She like middled. She was like 3rd or 4th in the lineup. It was like 10 comics, like a 2.5-hour show, and Bill always goes last. She killed so fucking hard. There was like 4 comics in between her and Bill, and he addressed her killing like an hour later.
Damn.
I mean, yeah. So like
that's amazing.
So that's the thing. Like, it's for every comedy fan out there that's never been to a live show, you're not seeing it in its reality.
No,
that's the only way you could really get the experience.
No,
it's like oh, like I'm a big AC/DC fan. I listen to all their albums. Have you been to a show? Nope. Then you're missing the mark.
It's
you know what I'm saying? Like that's not the full experience.
And that's why I like Andrew Schultz, because he kind of talks about it as like the live show is like a different product. He brings like he invests like for instance, Chris Distefano is doing MSG. Schultz sold out MSG.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
So but I feel like Distefano will net more money because Schultz, I think, puts more money into his show.
He's like the Daft Punk of comedians, where like, oh, I'll make $5 million for this show, so I'll invest $1 million in the production value.
Yeah, and he like I watched his podcast. He went to Travis Scott's show, and he was like picking Travis Scott's brain about like the production of it.
Yeah, he got pyrotechnics at his show.
Yeah, it's just like they're complete opposite genres, but it's so funny. But no, Schultz is a genius.
Yeah,
all these New York guys are blowing LA out of the water right now.
Well, I've and this is not me being an East Coaster and favoring my hometown anyway, because I started comedy in Boston. I don't even consider myself a New York comic. I'm a New York guy, but I started in Boston. But when I got here, and this it's starting to level out a little bit now, particularly now that I feel like History Hyenas is back. But the podcasting platform blew up so big that was a good avenue for comics to get their name out there.
Yeah.
And obviously, LA is full of the celebrities and comics who do more TV work. Mm-hmm. So you go to the comedy store, and the whole fucking lineup's just A-listers that anyone on the street would recognize.
Yeah.
Right. But but I've been to the Comedy Cellar in New York 1,000 times. That's the A Club out there. That's where all these guys do their showcase shows. I was like, joke for joke, I feel like the Cellar will blow them out. Like they'll kill in any room, even if people don't know who they are.
Yeah.
Whereas, you might go to the Comedy Store, it's like, oh, Jeremy Piven, like, all right, you do fucking Ari Gold or get off the stage.
Yeah.
That kind of thing. And that's it. And I'm not dissing any LA comics. It's just there's a different criteria here to get on stage than it is back there. But I think it's catching up now with the podcast back east. And they're just getting more savvy about getting internet exposure. I mean, dude, like Shane Gillis, there's a guy I still think, even though people think he's rated now, he's still underrated. He's still so fucking funny, and funnier than he is famous.
I had a thought about him yesterday. I'm curious about if like the guys he grew up with are like growing up, if they were like, Shane's the funniest guy I know, or if it was more so of this like, wow, okay, Shane ended up doing it. Because I have a feeling the way, maybe he's just very humble, but the way he kind of talks about his upbringing and himself, I have a feeling he wasn't. I'm sure he's funny, but I'm sure he wasn't like, oh, this guy's got to be a comic. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I think he grinded and became a good writer.
Were you the class clown, the funny guy?
So here's the thing. Some classes, yes. Other classes, I was very shy. Like, not necessarily just classes. There was probably in high school, probably a third of my classes, I was definitely class clown. I'd get in trouble all the time. And then there's other times, just, the ones you were failing? So you're like, why bother trying? Well, not even just like, not even just classes, just like I was definitely class clown on a few, but then just like in regular life, I feel like I was more shy. Yeah. For whatever reason, just like socially. But once I get with my friends or my family, then I'm open up. But I couldn't like, it's a weird. It's not. People weren't saying like, oh, Anthony's hella funny, he's got to do stand up. But there was definitely classes. Yeah. And if you were in that class, you were like, oh, that's. Yeah, I was more of that in the sense that I feel like. And look, there's no cookie cutter solution. Everyone's like, oh, all comics are mentally disturbed. And that's not true. Some of them are perfectly well adjusted. Yeah. But I feel like in general, they fall into two camps on average, right? Like it's either you were the class clown or you were witty and smart, but introverted and you didn't say shit. And that's so either you're always on stage or you finally found the stage as a way to get that out, and express yourself in a way that you felt comfortable because you were in control, right? Ironically, a little bit of both, I think, for me. But also when I was in, when I just finished high school, I was in college and I was back. I went to college out here, but then I was back home driving, like doing school. Went to Whittier College, small school. I played baseball there. But I was, so I was back home, like driving for DoorDash and stuff in the summer. And I would just put on I would just be listening to comedy, and I started getting in my algorithm a lot of like Pete Davidson, like when he was like 15 years old, and Pete Davidson. My parents are divorced. He grew up with a single mom. That was the first guy that I was like, oh, I can, because I was so young. I was like 18, 19. I was like, this is the first guy I could like relate to stand up wise. So I was like, he's not necessarily my favorite, but I'm saying like, like if he could do it, I can do it. Yeah, exactly. And like, you know who mine is for that? Chris Distefano. We were talking about. I bet. No. Honestly, so like, I fell in love with comedy when I saw George Carlin because
I didn't think I could be him. I thought comedy was not a real thing for a guy like me. But I was like, this guy's so smart and so funny. I feel like he's the only adult that gets me and I get him.
Yeah.
You know, and so that's how I got into comedy. But I remember, and this is years before I got into comedy. I had just separated from my fiance. She had just, I bought a condo. Told her, she's like, oh, are we going to sell the condo? Because we were we were weeks away from getting married, but I broke it off. And I said, no, I'm keeping the condo. I'll pay you out. You can leave. She took every stick of furniture. I said, just leave me the I literally said, leave me the bed, the couch, and the TV. Take anything else you want. And she took everything else except for those 3 items.
Whoa.
I mean, the ice cube trays out of the fucking freezer, all the shit. Like nothing. No knife, no fork, but I had the TV, my couch, and a bed.
That's all you really need, man.
That's all, as a man? What the fuck? Exactly. If anything more than that is a burden.
Yeah, exactly.
But I remember that night, my first night alone, I was like, oh, fuck, obviously I was, it was sad, and even though it was my choice, it's not easy breaking up after several years with her. But I was like, all right, so I smoked a little weed. Like, let me just fucking cruise the TV and just black out my mind. And I flip into channels back when cable had you just, surf down the menu. And I pop over to MTV, and it was like one of the girl code, guy code things. I'm like, is that fucking Chris Distefano? And I texted my buddy Mike. Shout out Mike Callie. I texted him, did I just see Chris on MTV? He's like, yeah, he started doing comedy. He's on this show. I'm like, oh shit.
Whoa. So
I was like, oh fuck. I was like, what? A kid from my neighborhood could do this shit? I was
That's
like, oh,
so sick.
So like I put that in the back of my head. Then 5, 6 years after, 7 years after that, maybe is when I finally got into it. But I was like, fucking, and not to say that I can do what Chris is doing. Obviously, I'm not gonna play the garden anytime soon. But I was like, oh, it's attainable. Like it's real. Like
sure.
it's like it's like the kid from the Harlem. I could play in the NBA. It's like motherfucker. Everybody wants. Every kid, black, white, or indifferent, wants to play in the NBA. Not most of you aren't.
Yeah,
it's not real. I was like, oh shit, wait a minute. I mean, it is possible because Chris, bless his soul, he was a doctor of physical therapy. He had like a real career before he got into comedy. I was like, wait, he left the real career to do this? I was like, why don't I live my real career to do fucking this if he could do it?
He says he started comedy because he was doing therapy, and he was just telling his therapist his life, and then she just kept laughing. She's like, you gotta get on stage and talk about this. So you're around? Do you tell?
Yeah, I tell people my age. I'm not a fucking jerk off like these LA people.
Oh yeah, good.
Women and men in LA, all women everywhere, and men in LA seem to be weird about their age. I don't get. Sure. I actually say I'm a year old. By the time I swear to God, as soon as so I'm gonna be turning 42 in May.
Fuck yeah.
By June I'll be saying I've been saying I'm 42 since December.
Good. Wow.
I just get ahead of it.
Yeah.
Because one. As long as I feel good, I'm keeping my hair. I'm not getting that fat. I'm all right. I'm doing all right.
Yeah.
But two, if you lie up, people are like, oh, he looks good for his age.
Yeah.
You lie down, it's like, the fuck you looking like a shot out 27-year-old.
Yeah.
Always, whatever your age is out there, especially if you're in LA, fucking add 5 years. Be like, whoa.
Yeah.
You can play younger. Yeah,
That's
I can. Yeah.
And I like
just lie up.
I like to lie up too when it gets. My birthday's in November.
About your dick size. Me too.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's well, once it gets to like after halfway through the year, I just start saying I'm next stage because
exactly what I do. Yeah.
Because math wise, too. So say I was born 97. I can do the math. Like, okay, I say I'm born 97. Okay, that's 27. It's probably 27.
It's also easier for me to remember. That's how fucking old I am. I was like, wait, what the fuck?
Cool, you just made me 40, bro. Thanks.
Happy birthday, Mikey.
Hell yeah, dude. Let's go. Where are you at?
Just got old instantly.
No, but I also like getting older because I feel like getting old is like kind of like being young. There's a bell curve. Like you kind of like start out where you can't chew your own food, can't walk, and can barely speak, and then you end life kind of in that same spot.
Yeah.
But when you're young, you're too young. That's why I love kids, like a bunch of 11-year-olds. They'll give you the fucking truth. They can't. There's no lie in them.
Wow. Yeah.
And that why is daddy looking fat? Why is mommy crushing pills and snorting them? It's like, they'll just say the shit.
Yeah.
And old people are too old to give a fuck. I mean, they'll just tell you the truth.
Dude, I watched the movie. I rewatched. Have you seen the movie? This is kind of funny. Have you seen the movie This Is 40?
Yes.
Dude, I mean, great movie. Judd Apatow's the best. But it was like, I watched it with my girlfriend last night, and I feel like it said the opening scene, then it said This Is 40, and I was like, not anymore.
No,
not like my close friends.
I have no kids,
Michael
no wife,
40.
no goals,
like,
no hope,
that's not,
no problems.
Not for you.
I'm living the dream, man.
Yeah, dude, it's 40 now is so much different.
Yeah,
than
especially
it was
in LA 40,
ago.
which was ironic about the Judd Apatow movie because that was filmed in LA and it's placed in LA. And I'm like, I don't know any 40-year-olds living like that with 3 fucking kids. And
maybe more on like the west side. You know, you got a little, but it's also like,
well, that's over.
yeah, you're right.
Yeah, that wasteland's like Gaza out there right now.
I work in right near the Palisades in Brentwood at a restaurant, and so I'm serving the past few months. You know, I've been serving these people, and they're so like, some of these people are so rude out there. Like these Palisades people,
yeah.
Palisades women. Like one lady's just like salt and pepper. Just I'm walking away. She goes, salt and pepper. Just yells it.
Like she's fucking the Sultan of Brunei or some shit.
Yeah, exactly. So there's a few, you know, before that.
So you just threw it back at her from across the room.
For real, yeah, exactly. There'd be some times though, a few months ago, where I'd walk away, I'd be like, "Wish this lady's house would just burn down."
And unfortunately, God answered your prayers, but He took out 15,000 other homes with it.
For real. Yeah, I asked for a PS5 next. See if I get it.
That's the old monkey paw wish.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you're a young, good-looking guy out there with the Palisades and these divorcees living on their ex-husband's money. Ever make a move on you?
Dude, you would think. No, that they don't even... They don't even.
I thought.
Dude, I'm so nice to them. They don't even look up. That's the thing. They don't even make eye contact with you.
Really?
So they're so in their own world, and it's bizarre.
But you know Tommy Mitchell?
Oh yeah, I live with him.
Oh, love that kid. Yeah. Of course, of course you two. Of course you two live together. The fucking. He likes to bang out the gilfs. He was telling me last time he was on the pod.
Yeah, but with him, I give him shit for that because with him, I don't think it's. He's a good-looking guy. I think that's just like his.
It's the mustache.
Yeah, that's like I don't.
It's the vibe he's putting out.
I don't think he's going like, oh, I'm just gonna get with gilfs. I think that's just how life worked out for him.
Okay.
You know, just like.
Well, he's happy as a clam
because he looks. Without his mustache, I think he looks. He's 32. I'm 27. I think he looks younger than me without the mustache.
Fuck, why would I meet you when you were 20 nothing?
Dude, yeah, I think I met you when I was like 21, 22. Board shorts. I remember I was telling Tom before I got here. I remember the day I met you at Laugh Boston.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah. Way back in the.
Is that right when you moved to LA? Right after?
Yeah, no, I moved to LA and was back out there finishing shows. It was the end of the. So I moved to LA in like the end of August, and then I had a round of shows I was finishing out there in like September, early October.
Okay,
so I
it was
moved
September.
Here and flew back out. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. What the fuck were you doing in Boston? Who are you open for?
Lenoci.
Maddie? Oh,
Michael.
Lenoci. That's right.
I'm actually going with Maddie in a few weeks. Just bought my ticket. But yeah, I'm going
back to Boston?
Yeah, back to Boston. I'm going to Boston 2 weeks in a row. I'm going for 2 days, flying back, then going again.
Nice.
Just doing shows and just seeing family.
You got family out that way?
Yeah. My whole dad's side's out there.
Okay.
So,
where's your? But you went to school out here, but where are you from?
The Bay Area. So I grew up in. I lived in.
See, I wouldn't peg you as a West Coast
Italy.
guy, which is a good thing, a compliment, especially
you.
the fucking Bay Area. Those fucking homos up there. I'm kidding,
dude. No,
we can say that again. It's Trump's America,
dude. It's actually. I don't know what I am. Like all my dad's sides from.
They call that non-binary.
Exactly.
Mike with the zingers off camera.
I'm a non-binary geographic because, dude, it's like I was born in the Bay Area, then I moved to Italy and lived,
that's cool.
Then lived there till I was 10 years old.
So how many years were you in Italy?
5 or 6 years.
Okay, so basically all of elementary school you're in Italy.
Yes, like
and I assume you're
4 to
fluent.
10. Yeah.
Where in Italy?
Rome.
Oh, sick.
We traveled around a lot. My family's mostly
So you guys are fucking real Italian.
And my both my parents are like 100% Italian.
Okay.
And so that's just how it worked out. And then we moved back to the Bay Area, went to high school there. Then I came down to LA.
Is your dad in the government or some shit, or is he in the mob?
He was in the government.
Okay, I was gonna say there's only 2 ways you go back and forth like that.
Yeah.
Either you work for the government or in the mafia.
But he's the exactly. Maybe
and if he was a made
both.
man, you couldn't tell me, so I get it.
Dude, I mean, if my dad was in the mafia, that'd be
way cooler.
I went and
We'd
did
be way
shows.
richer.
I went and did shows. I went and did shows in Springfield, Mass.
Oh, big mafia area.
Dude, my dad's like, tell me all this stuff about the mob out there. And I got on stage and I one show I hosted, one show I featured. Whenever the show I was hosting, I was like trying to riff a little bit up top. So you got like, I hear this like a big mafia capital. And like nobody said they all looked like they're in the mob.
Yeah, they don't want to talk about it. Yeah, it's against the rules.
I was like, yeah, am I an idiot? What did I think these people were going to be like? Yeah, I'm in the mob.
Yeah, who has a gun? It's like, what the fuck am I doing?
Bizarre. But no, yeah,
I became online friends with some of these guys who got released. These other guys all got 20-year racketeering sentences when I was a teenager, kid, mid-late 90s, early 2000s. And now I'm online friends with a handful of them, including a guy, Anthony Arlotta. Shout out Anthony. He was a captain in Springfield for the Genovese family.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Dude, they put an FBI office out in Springfield just because
bad.
of that.
Yeah. I mean, they had like fucking the Genovese family had like 40 made guys out there, which is a lot for a small town. I mean, Springfield's not New York, to have fucking that many made guys.
Yeah. I dated a girl one time who she's from Secaucus, New Jersey, and her dad was
I spent
involved.
so much time in Secaucus, you wouldn't believe
For real? And
Dude.
so I said it right?
Yeah, Secaucus.
Everybody else, even from New Jersey, they're all correct me. They're like Secaucus. I'm like, no, she told me it's Secaucus, so I'm saying how she says it.
Yeah.
But only the people from Secaucus say Secaucus.
Yeah, it's like it's like Houston Street in New York.
Yes.
Every asshole who's Houston, nope. New Yorkers call it Houston.
Okay.
You know, like even though it's spelled Houston.
Yeah.
One of those things. You know, it's it's like Missouri. People from Missouri call it Missouri.
Oh yeah,
That's actually dumb.
The Houston,
Which I think is dumb, but
yeah. The Houston one kind of actually annoys me a little bit.
Yeah,
Houston,
it is pretty stupid.
Because there's literally a major one of the biggest cities in the country is Houston.
Yeah.
Just say it. Figure it out. Just say it the same way.
Well, we should just have Trump write a declaration, rename it, just like
Yeah,
Gulf of Mexico.
Gulf of Houston.
Yeah, that's also the other thing. I didn't know about that. Not to get political, but I didn't know who names bodies of water.
I didn't know you could just.
What
do
is
that.
stopping anybody from changing the name of a body of water?
Yeah, that's actually a good point.
You know, like in London, we all speak the English and the Americans speak English. Obviously, we don't speak the King's English or the Queen's English, but we call it an elevator. They call it a lift.
Yeah,
they call it a subway. They call it the tube. Why the fuck? Why don't we call the Atlantic Ocean the American Ocean? Who the fuck's going to stop us?
Dude, also, yeah, exactly.
Like Mexico calls Mexico Mexico. Like, what the fuck's stopping us from renaming every ocean?
Exactly. Like, dude, I'm gonna go and visit England pretty soon. I met a guy, this random. I was doing shows in Austin a few weeks ago, and one of the comics brought this guy into the green room. Like they said he's the biggest comic in the UK, but you wouldn't have thought. He was acting like he was an open micer. He was like hey, nice to meet you. Yeah, and they're like, you doing shows out here? He's like, no, I'm just trying to get myself integrated in the Austin scene, see what's up, see how shows run. Nicest guy in the world. They said, he's the biggest comic in the UK. I was like, I didn't think much of it. I flip on Flagrant today. YouTube, and he's the guest on Flagrant.
What's his name?
Adam Rowe, I believe.
Okay, I've heard of him.
But like, I was like, this is the biggest comic. Everybody, these comics, in L.A., Austin, New York, they've got 4,000 followers. They're acting like the biggest dick in the world. Yeah, but this guy's the biggest comic in the UK. He's the sweetest guy. I was like, if that's how people are out there, I want to go and do shows.
Dude, that's one of my. I've talked about it. I don't think I've talked about it on the podcast, but in my personal life, I was like, what a because I went and did a comedy for a month in Australia right before January. I spent the month of January of 2020 out there with a big comic in Australia who just opens for Bert here in the U.S. He's not a Bert Kreischer.
Was it Amos?
No, Rory Lowe.
Okay,
Rory Lowe. He's a big comic out there, but he opens for Bert here. But people wouldn't know him here because he's out there. But I went over there and it was so much fun. And dude, like bar shows for 15 minutes, they'll pay you $250 US. I go, what? Can I do 10 of these a night?
you know Evan Sanford, right?
Yeah.
He just got back from Italy. He was telling me how much he got paid similarly doing these random shows in Italy. I was like,
yeah, dude. Because they fucking pay a living wage to workers in all these other countries. But that's one of my wet dreams. It's like I want to be the fucking most famous comic in Romania. Yeah. Which will make me a millionaire. Yeah. But will make me fucking irrelevant here in the United States. Like people wouldn't even know. I want to be the fucking A-lister comic in New Zealand. Yeah. Live here, just go there 6 months a year and work, and then just fucking come back.
That would be so sick.
That's my wet dream because I feel like if you're Dave Chappelle fucking famous, you can't leave the house. Yeah. But if you're Dave Chappelle famous in a country that's not the United States and you don't live there year round, it's awesome.
That's that would be the best.
Yeah.
To be able to just get super famous here like Dave Chappelle and then go to those other
and then go to Africa and piss away $65 million, whatever you want. And then get into a fight with the Comedy Central and not work for 13 years. Yeah. Can you imagine taking a 13-year break?
Dude, it's crazy. I rewatched all this stuff the other day last week. The Chappelle Show sketches, the N-word family.
Oh my God.
The N-word family, and then the Clayton Bigsby.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Yes. Dude, you know who I saw live at the it was the Boston. It wasn't called the Comedy Cellar. What the fuck was it?
In Boston?
Yeah, the old club that closed before Laugh Boston opened up.
Oh, not Nick. No, Nick's is
still there. There was one. I forget. It was like their A-room, but it was like one of their last shows, and it was and Charlie Murphy was headlining. It was one of his first times headlining. But I loved the Charlie Murphy True Hollywood story so much.
What is it?
They were on Chappelle. The fucking the Prince story, the Rick James. I'm Rick James. Bit.
Oh yeah.
all those.
Dude, Joe Rogan says Charlie Murphy.
He was
like
all-time guy.
Yeah,
all-time
best guys.
All-time guy.
Dude,
and a fucking legitimate he was like a legit tough guy. Like he was head of Eddie's security, but he was in the Navy. He was like a black belt in fucking
sick.
some shit. Like he was like
That's
jacked.
sick.
He was for fucking real. Like
That's sick.
and he used to joke around. He's like, yeah, I go to all these Hollywood parties and fucking, Eddie's A-lister. He's party like I like to do. He's like, so he said no to the drugs and alcohol. I was like, shit, give me his share.
Yeah.
He's like, I was doing all Eddie's coke.
Is that how he died?
No, he died of cancer.
Shit.
Sadly, and he hid it from one of those things, like
Really?
kind of like Norm Macdonald, where he just didn't tell anybody he had cancer until he was dead.
That's funny.
Yeah,
Not funny, but the Norm Macdonald thing is very Norm Macdonald. Very
oh yeah,
funny.
right on brand for him.
Yeah. You mentioned when you're watching Distefano on MTV earlier, you mentioned you're smoking weed. Are you still big on the weed?
Yeah, I don't smoke during the day because I have a day job now.
Yeah.
But I'd like to smoke before I go to, my last hour up before I go to bed. I like to get high.
Me too.
And I don't plan on stopping. Weed is one of the few things I do in my life that is a vice, but is in terms of the harm it creates in my life, it's very small.
Why do you?
Maybe I'll get the munchies.
Why do
but
you
like
think
I've never acted out. I've never crashed a car. I've never slapped a woman. I've never fucking gotten to a fight.
Yeah.
And mushrooms make me better. But alcohol, other party drugs, I use very sparingly anymore. And alcohol, I use it as socially. I don't drink at home,
Yeah.
But yeah, weed's never. It's just so harmless to me. I mean, like I said, it just makes me drowsy. It's a net positive in my life.
Why? I'm only asking because I'm trying to ask myself this. Why do you think you smoke a lot? Like what benefit? Like, why do you think it's like part of your life?
Yeah, I mean, it for me personally, it's an anxiety thing.
I think so.
I'm a very, I fidget a lot. I fucking spiral. My thoughts spiral.
Yeah,
it's hard for me to relax. But when I smoke weed, I relax.
Exactly.
It sort of settles me in.
Yeah.
Like I said, it helps me sleep. Mm-hmm. I'm not hungover in the morning. It's just like the negative externalities of it are so small compared to any other vice. I mean, dude, I think women are more unhealthy for me than fucking weed.
100%. 100%.
Most of the worst decisions of my life were a consequence of my relationship with a woman.
100%.
Not drugs, not alcohol, not my parents, not anything else. It's usually a woman.
Yeah.
Dude,
I'm big on the weed. I took like.
I don't know. Is that a new thing or is it?
No. Since 2020.
Okay, so
about 4 years.
Okay.
But dude, I took like past 5 days off. I smoked again last night, but took 5 days off. My writing, probably just writing all day. My thoughts, it's like when you have zero thoughts for like 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Then you just have all your thoughts at once. But then I was like, I'm seeing how long I can go, and I'm getting shit done. I'm working a lot. I'm getting, I'm feeling productive, working out, and then I do acting class every Tuesday night, and then I'm in my acting class. Last night, I'm working. I have a show tonight. I'm stressing out about promoting my show, all that stuff. Then I have like a frustrating scene, like the guy who I'm working with, forgetting lines, talking, stepping on my shit. And then, dude, for whatever reason, I went to my girlfriend's house after, and I was like, "Do you have any weed?" I just need to take the edge off. And then I took the edge off, and then you're just like, "Oh my God, dude, how have I lived without this?" Yeah. But now today, I feel like shit. Now today, I feel like drowsy. I don't know. It's weird. So that's why I stopped for a little bit, because I was like, bro, I shouldn't be feeling drowsy at 5 p.m.
Yeah,
that's crazy,
dude. I think that's a consequence of just the.
You think it's the quantity that I just go too hard?
I think now, because weed has gotten it's so much more potent and so much more specific. Like when I started smoking weed, I smoked here and there, starting my junior year of high school. I didn't start regularly smoking weed, which I mean like 5 days a week or more to college. Which I think is important. I have friends who started 13 and they're half fucking retarded. So
yeah, I think it makes me a little retarded. That's the thing, though.
But I waited until I was 18, 19. But back then, you had your weed dealer, and I have indoor and outdoor, and that's it. What kind of weed do you want? I got fucking weed, man. There was no names. Yeah. Now you go to this fucking Apple store of weed here, anywhere on Sunset Boulevard or Santa Monica Boulevard. And it's just fucking boards of shit. This one does this, that, the other thing. They're so high in potency.
Dude, yeah.
Edibles will knock me out for a fucking 2 days.
You dab? You do dabs?
I have, but I'm old school. I just like smoking fucking flower. Like hit a joint, or take a little bowl rip or a bong rip. I don't need to set up the chemistry set or the fucking electronics it takes to get a dab in. I want weed to be easy.
Easy, yeah. I recently moved. You're in Studio City, right?
No, I moved down to right by the Improv.
Oh, dope.
Yeah.
I moved from North Hollywood to Studio City, and in North Hollywood, I lived, all my neighbors were black dudes. So they'd come over and
Sounds about right.
Dude, yeah, exactly. Just roll up blunts and stuff like that. And I was like, I miss that. I miss the blunts. The blunts are the best.
Communal aspect of it.
I don't know how to roll blunts. I don't.
That's why I like buying these pre-roll joints and shit.
But also, I need like more black neighbors. I need to live in a black neighborhood and smoke more blunts.
Oh yeah, well that was one of my ways during the pandemic that I thought like this is how because after the BLM shit I was like we gotta bring black and white communities together. And weed is because I mean every country bumpkin I've ever met from West Virginia loves smoking weed, and every black guy I know from the hood loves smoking weed.
Yeah,
they hate the cops, they love guns, they smoke weed. Yeah, like they have more in common
100%
than they think.
Yeah,
they hate the government.
Yeah,
they all own weapons, and they all smoke dope.
Yeah, you're right.
So
it's
one of those things you rally around. But yeah, I think overall it makes me a better person. It does help with the writing.
You think it helps with the writing?
Yeah, I found mushrooms really do that too. Like
mushrooms is crazy for the writing.
Crazy for writing. Yeah. I mean, I sometimes someone just record the next 6 hours. Just hit record on that.
But did you give me you give me a 2 days good sleep, no weed, some espresso, some Zins?
Yeah.
Dude, my writing is firing, dude.
Dude, you know what I like to do? I like to take a 10 milligram of Adderall and a morning bong.
Oh wow!
Like on a Saturday
that sounds so awesome.
When I got nothing with the day, like cause, I'll take Adderall to like do my work because I'm a finance guy and I'm in spreadsheets all day, and Adderall is just I'm already in math and it's like math on crack. But like on a Saturday, I'm like I got nothing to do. Let me break one of my Adderall in half and take 2 giant bong rips at 9 a.m. and then go get a cup of coffee. I'm like I got all sorts of ideas.
That's great. I love that. I used to get the extended release in college.
Oh yeah,
I just rip
the little pills out. Yeah,
pour it in my Starbucks, fucking stir it up, and just sit in it while I'm studying. That was the best. I haven't done that since college.
Because I find because I'll take some breaks from weed. Sometimes not even on purpose. I'll just like forget to smoke.
That's amazing.
Or I'll be
so high you forget to smoke.
Or I'll be busy. Like I'm traveling. I forgot to bring weed. So I'll just
well, the best is when you tire yourself out and you're just like, I don't need to smoke. I'm just gonna go to bed.
Yeah.
Because I do it. It started because I needed to sleep.
Yeah.
That's the thing. But I'm trying to figure out the balance. Dude, the how much you smoke, then I'm not smoking, then I'm overdosing on melatonin.
Yeah, exactly. You gotta find. I found the strains I like that are good for me. So like I know the ones that they sell out here regularly. I know the ones they sell in Boston regularly that I like.
Good. The good shit's just expensive. Like I was smoking.
I got you. I got 3 pounds of free weed from my buddy grows it up north. I'll give you fucking pockets full of it.
Oh, thanks, bro.
Yeah, dude, I got you.
I need that.
I'll see next time we're on a show together. I'm gonna go to the show tonight. But next time we're on a show together, I'll see you on the lineup. Like, oh shit, I'll bring fucking drums of it. Matter of fact, fuck it, I'll bring it up.
I'll come with a truck, dude.
Yeah,
I'll come to your house.
You live here in Studio City?
Yeah.
Fuck yeah, I'm dating a girl up here. I'll bring a bunch to her house and I'll just drop it off at your place.
Just come over and smoke, dude.
Come over and hang out with Tommy.
You know my roommate. My brother lives with us too. He's cool dude.
Nice. Oh, Frank Stallone.
Frank Stallone, yeah. Dude, my brother. That's funny you mentioned.
Bring a black friend to roll the blunts.
Yeah, I gotta find one. No, I got a few. I got a few out here in LA.
Yeah, dude.
But I was gonna ask. So like, what I realized for me, because you said you'd taken a break from smoking weed for a few days, I find that if I stop smoking weed for like 2 or 3 days, like the first night I sleep like regular. The second night, my dreams are so vivid and I can remember them.
It's
when
insane.
I can usually never remember my dreams. It's like I feel like it's like one of those like sleep waking dreams where like I know I'm dreaming, but I'm in the dream and I can control it. Yes. Like, I think it's called lucid dreaming.
Lucid dreams, yeah.
Yeah. Did that happen to you?
Oh, so bad, dude. It's to the point where I'll wake up and sometimes take a piss or just wake up and I can parlay it back into my parlay the dream. I'm like,
pause the dream.
Bro, so I fell asleep after work the other day before I went to do a show, and I was like, it was like 5 p.m. I fell asleep for like an hour, and I was like, I woke up like depressed, and I was like, dude, that was the best dream. I don't remember what it was, but I was like, dude, those nap dreams hit harder than anything else.
Oh yeah,
the sober nap dreams.
That's when you feel like you're falling and you roll off the couch by accident.
100%, yeah, dude. Yeah. Dude, but you need to. I feel like I'm gonna start taking breaks from weed at least once a month, just to.
Yeah, that's why I stopped drinking at home. It's like I got to be outside. It sucks. It makes you drink less because you don't want to pay the outdoor prices.
Yes,
like indoor drinking is way cheaper than outdoor drinking.
Yeah, bro. I was at a bar the other night. I was like, "How are you charging $11 for Bud Light?"
Fucking bullshit, dude.
I'm like, I'll do cheap Bud Light.
Dude, and you're working the road more and more now. You see, you go out of fucking Ohio. It's like what? Shots are $4. Shots for the fucking block. Like I'm buying for everybody.
Oh yeah,
I feel like a king.
Dude, I spent like most of 2024 in Florida just because of that. Just like great comedy, great people, cheap shit. I was like, this is awesome.
Yeah, man. But you're not a big drinker, huh?
Nah, but the thing is, when I have like a lot of shows, I catch myself smoking less and drinking a little more.
Yeah, well, I do that same thing too, because just the waiting around and the social aspect, just having a beer in your hand to keep yourself occupied.
Yeah, but if I'm on the road a lot and I'm like smoking, like I'm like, I'll just smoke as much as I want. I don't drink at all. Almost, I'm just Diet Cokes. Okay. But no, I don't. There's always
more you young people drinking. But I'm glad you're smoking weed, because every single vice is down except for vaping amongst people under the age of 30.
There's
but drinking is like literally went from like 85% of people from the age 30 or below had drinks regularly every week. Yeah. Now it's like literally below 30%.
Well, dude, about last March I stopped smoking for like a month and a half, right? And then so I was like, just don't smoke. You can do anything else. So I was drinking a lot. And I was like, all right, I need to chill on drinking. So then I got on
smoking.
I got on the Zins.
Oh yeah,
and now that's my worst addiction.
Yeah, that's the worst addiction.
Bro, I'm buying a pack every 2 days of those Zins. It's great, and they've like come like 15. Dude, but I was like, Zins are better than alcohol or weed. But
yeah, I've had this argument before. I always take umbrage with people. That's a big word for you.
Second time I've heard that word this week. That's crazy.
Yeah. That's a big $30 word for you.
Yeah, that was good.
Never hear that.
I like that.
But I have a problem when people say like, oh, I'm sober. It's like, are you really? It's like, I mean, like you're taking Ozempic in the morning to lose weight. You're on Adderall. You're taking an antidepressant. You're having coffee and you're vaping all day. Yeah. I mean, you're just not doing illegal drugs.
Yeah,
exactly. Everyone's on something. And if you're not on something, then I really think you're mentally disturbed.
For sure.
Like this, because how could you cognitively get through the world today without some vice to like, I'll reward myself at the end of the day with this glass of whiskey or with a cigarette or weed.
It's
or
always something. Everybody, whether it be, if it's not any of those things, it could be food. It could be.
I got a buddy. Yeah, I got a buddy who snowboards 100 days a year. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, and he doesn't live near a fucking mountain, so he's like flying out every weekend or doing 6-hour drives every weekend.
No way.
But he was formerly like a daily alcoholic. Like he would wake up to a drink in the morning.
Oh, that's okay.
So he just replaced drinking with snowboarding. Yeah. It's an addictive personality, that I think is the bigger driver of it.
I'm realizing lately, my roommate in college, my best friend was like, I have an addictive personality. I was like, damn, dude. I'm realizing I do too now. But I'm trying to get back because I didn't know.
You got to keep it focused on something healthy.
Yes, but I didn't realize it in college because my addiction was
baseball
and working out and school. Like my vice was basically like working hard in a sense, and I'd party on the weekends. But dude, like we were working out 2-3 times a day. I was too tired to do anything at night.
Yeah.
So I was like, I got to get back to. I want to go back and play college baseball. I got to do something.
Yeah,
I do this boxing class sometimes. I was like, I got to just work it like. Physical activity is the best for.
Yeah, you have to keep yourself doing something to have a purpose.
Yeah,
and you hope that those things you're doing aren't, fucking crack or it's like I'm addicted to going to fucking F45 classes. Great, you'll be in great shape. You'll be annoying to talk to, if you're a vegan or something. But at least you're not killing yourself or any other people around you.
I think for me, my vice is like competitive. I need to compete with something. Like when even the past few days when I stopped. Smoking for a few days, I was like looking at PS5. So I was like, I gotta buy a PS5.
Oh, I'm waiting. I'm waiting for them to drop Grand Theft Auto 6.
Oh, that's gonna be.
I'm holding out.
Dude, I'm a sports game guy.
So Madden's the only game. The only two games I play are Madden Football and
Grand Theft.
Grand Theft Auto and Red Dead. I consider them the same thing. Just one's in the West, one's in current time.
You do 2K. You do 2K. You do the show.
No. I used to when I was younger, but basically by the time I got to college. We would have Madden tournaments in the frat house, play Madden.
I'm excited.
And then that's when all the Grand Theft Autos were, being released every couple of years. And they were fucking sick. Open world kill everyone.
Sick, yeah. The best thing to do is if you're with a bunch of buddies, is to go on MLB The Show and play like Home Run Derby because you can pick like different guys. Yeah. You can just switch the controller off and be like, oh, I'm Griffey. So but that's
there's no more Mario Kart like nowadays.
Yeah, like that
or
type
GoldenEye. I mean, like they haven't. There's games that have first shooter games and racing games, but that don't capture that gameplay. I mean, I remember like even my mom got competitive about Mario Kart.
Yeah,
she never played video games. Like, what is all this noise you're making about this? It's like, oh, grab the controller. Mine like fucking an hour later, she's like not giving it back to my friend because she wants to race again.
Wow, that's sick.
There's something about the gameplay of that.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah. There was a game. It was MLB. Mike, do you remember? It was like 05. It was before the show. Maybe it was the show. It was with Manny Ramirez on the cover. It was like 2005. It was the show. Yep. Dude, when I was a kid, so I was probably 10 years older in that time. I was having I was hearing voices in my head of Matt Vasgersian, the commentator. So I was playing that game so much. I was like in the middle of the night. I was like yelling in the middle of the night, like Mom, because I was hearing voices in my head of Matt Vasgersian, the fucking MLB The Show commentator. That's how much I was playing that game. It was unreal.
I have something similar. Back, it was like I think Michael Vick was on the cover of Madden, like 2007 or 8, or 6, and John Madden was still doing the voiceovers in the game.
Yeah.
And like 10 years later, I mean, like literally, like our buddy's wedding, someone made a comment, and I like made a comment that something that John Madden said in the game. I was like, "Oh, you guys remember that line?" And like, what is it from? And I was like, "Oh, Madden Football 2007." Like, that's not a movie line, man. Yeah, 2004. Yeah. There you go. He's like, yeah, no, it's not a famous movie line, Randy. It's a fucking voiceover comment from John Madden Football from 12 years ago.
That's so.
I fucking embarrassed myself at a wedding.
I remember that. I think I started watching football in like 2006, right? And I think that whole Michael Vick thing went down.
Oh my God, so young you were.
2005.
You're 15 years younger than me? A straight 15 years younger than me.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, 42,
oh my
27.
God, so I do have abortions older than you.
That's crazy.
Not to throw back to that joke.
Yeah. But dude, I remember I went to Target with my dad, probably like 2006, 2007, and I didn't know much about football yet. And there was a football there. It was a football, and it had Michael Vick's autograph and like number 7 signature on it. And some guy, we were walking by, and some guy looks at this and looks at my dad and just goes, "Can't buy these anymore." I can't find these anywhere. And he left. And he's like, "I'm gonna get this is the last one." And that's the last time. I was like, that's my first time I heard about Michael Vick. But I was like, just so funny because I was like, "What did that mean, Dad?" And he's like, "Oh, Michael Vick, like
the dog fighting
beat dogs."
thing?
Yeah. It was right in the thick of the dog fighting thing. And this guy was just buying a signed ball at Target. That's how big Michael Vick was.
But that's also how much we love dogs.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah, for sure.
I mean, you're fighting dogs.
Yeah.
3 years in federal prison. He was in Leavenworth,
dude.
Like, let me fucking real jail.
Yeah. Let me tell you, I love dogs as much as the next guy, but let's just stop bringing them on planes to restaurants.
Yes.
I'm serving at a restaurant. These people just got their dogs in there. It's just like, come on.
Well, they also bring ill-behaved dogs, and even worse, those little pocket fucking dogs that they like put on the table. It's like, get your ferret off the fucking dinner table.
But it's not even the problem that they're bringing the dogs, which is also annoying. But it's the fact that they're bringing the dogs, and then it's like I have to.
It's everyone's problem.
It's everyone else's problem, and it's not even that everybody else's problem. It's like you're a dick if you don't like change what you're doing to accommodate my dog. I'll working or whatever. But it's like, it's like they're in the right always.
I have that same feeling about children.
Yeah. These children
I've said it 1,000 times. Keep your fucking kid out of the bar. I get it if they're at the restaurant or on the restaurant side of a bar. But now this football season's coming to an end. But I was the Super Bowl's this weekend. This will come out in a couple weeks after the Super Bowl. But I can't tell you how many times, even here in LA, where you wouldn't think to find a lot of kids because people are selfish.
Yeah.
You go to a bar on Sunday, all the games are on, and I'm cheering and rooting. I'm like, fuck, you missed a field goal. Like, hey, watch your mouth. My kid's over here. I'm like, we're at the fucking bar.
Yeah.
Get that kid out of here. Go get a sitter or be a good parent and don't drink around your fucking child. Go home with that. Like, I'm not getting hammered at your kid's school playground.
Yeah.
So why is your kid fucking up my bar?
Yeah.
Like, it's one of those things. Like, it's not the time or place. This is an adult playground. Take your kid to the kids' playground.
I hate that. I hate when people like show up to a place and then just make their problem everybody else's problem.
Yeah. Watch your mouth around my kid. How about you raise your kid that do as adults say, not as they do?
Yeah.
That's how I was raised. I mean, you're a different generation, but you're Italian, so I'm sure you're raised the same way.
No, yeah.
It's in that like if your dad swears around you, that's how daddy talks. You don't talk that way. That's it.
Exactly.
There's different rules. I'm an adult, you're a kid. You do what I say, and I do what I want.
Exactly.
Kind of thing. Whereas now it's like the whole community has to raise some spoiled brat from fucking Brentwood. It's like I don't know that kid, and fuck him. He's yours. You got to raise him.
No, I think like you said, I think I was raised so old school compared to other people my age that like.
Were you hit?
Yeah.
That never happens anymore.
No, but also like even little shit, like when I was like 23, 24, I was living with this guy, and it was his first time. He was my age. It was his first time doing his own laundry. I was like, what? I did my laundry when I was like 10 years old.
Immediately.
That's insane. Like right when I could walk, I was doing my own laundry.
Even that's a little rare though in the Italian community because especially for Italian boys because their moms really dote on them.
Yeah, but my mom.
But it seems like your mom's a little more Americanized. Your dad's more Italian of the lot.
Yeah, okay. But they're both
very Italian.
they're both very very Americanized, but also very Italian. It's a very like.
Yeah, it's a good little mix. Do you get to go back to Italy?
Never. I think I'm going this summer though.
You should, especially if you can do comedy in English and Italian.
That'd be sick.
That'd be fucking dope.
I want to do that, and I want to do because this year in Rome, it's gonna be so busy, but it's the what's it called? Do you know what?
The Olympics or some shit?
No, it's the
World Cup.
There's a name for it. I'm gonna pull
Something
it up.
in Rome?
It's bothering me. It's the
Some festival that we don't know about?
Rome.
It's all right.
Not the tomato throwing one, is it?
No,
Tomato.
that's hilarious.
very.
Jubilee, the Vatican Jubilee.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So it's gonna be zood in Rome.
Yeah, and you know those Italian girls especially the Catholic Italian girls like to take it up the ass.
Do they?
Well, I mean, it's
because of the Catholic.
It's virginity.
Yeah.
It's your, which I think is a great loophole that you're trying to fucking treat God like a Jewish attorney.
Loophole, some might say.
Yeah. Poop. Thanks for the pun, Mikey.
That was good. A little poop hole. That was quick.
All right. We're about probably 45 minutes in, and we got a hard stop. We got to get you out of. We got to get us both out to a show. At the end, I don't know if you remember. I like to do a little recent news, but I picked the story, so it's nothing important. Here's what I think that's. I want to know if it's true because you still work in the service industry during the day. People are tipping less because they're fed up with the tipping culture. Recent data indicates that Americans are tipping less at restaurants, with the average tip at full establishments declining over 19% in the last 6 years. The trend is attributed to tipping fatigue, where customers feel overwhelmed by frequent prompts for gratuities, especially in non-traditional settings like a fucking CVS or everywhere else now that does it.
Yeah. That's just getting annoying.
Yeah. Have you noticed tips going down, or are they pretty steady here in LA?
I've noticed it. He has on the receipts that it gives us, it has like the 15, 17, 20, 22.
Yeah.
I'm getting a lot of people circling that 15 lately.
Yeah.
And I don't know what I don't know if I'm a bad server. But
I doubt it. I think it's the tipping fatigue, because the problem is everyone's got their fucking handout now. Listen, I grew up in fucking New York in the 80s and 90s, and tipping was everything. I mean, like my father, we were broke. Then had 2 fucking nickels. My father always tip guys that took care of us, because if I don't tip the fucking valet, my car's gonna get stolen.
Exactly.
If I want to get a free sandwich, I got to tip this guy this time, so give me the free sandwich next time.
That's what's frustrating to me is like I over tip everywhere I go and everything, and I've never not. Well, if somebody's looking at me, I can't not press at least the $1 button.
Yeah,
so I'm doing everything.
Service though, like I said, for like at a restaurant, 25% was my go-to.
Yeah,
to start. Right, and if you're great, you get 30. If you're terrible, you get 20. I've never tipped fucking 15% in my life. Like at a restaurant.
Oh,
they're working. They're bringing the food. They're doing the thing.
Yeah.
At a bar, if I'm ordering mixed drinks, I tip a percentage on whatever the thing is. But if I'm ordering shots and beers, it's $1 for a shot, $1 for a beer. So if I order a shot and beer, it's $1 every time. Maybe.
Yeah, I like that. I've been doing $2 a beer.
There you go. That's good. It's not bad.
But it's because I work in the service, and I don't want any, like, when it comes down to it, it's just like it is double, but it's like it is only an extra $1.
Yeah.
That's the way I think of it. But it's dude, I used to work. I was to be a server and bartender at the Haha Comedy Club.
I remember. That's the first place we were working at when I got here.
And we had to stop doing. They did every one Tuesday a month. They would have a black comedy night. We had to stop doing it because no staff would show up. Because nobody would tip. It was to the point where, like, that's why at the Haha when I worked there, they started asking for your credit cards before the show started.
Yeah.
Because these guys do that. It would be like, I'm not making this up. Like one time I was serving a table and it was like 5 Hennessy's, 3 orders of wings. They were like, oh man, we only ordered 2 Hennessy's and 3 wings. I was like, oh shit, let me go talk to my manager. Go talk to my manager, come back, they're gone.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
well, it's one of those things. I feel like some black people.
Not to make it a racing, I was trying to.
No, I feel like some
black
people are trying to get reparations. One untipped waiter at a time.
Exactly.
But a long time ago, I was having a conversation with Jeff Dye, we were talking about earlier, and he said the way you solve that is it seems like in the black community it's all about getting credit for what you do. They want credit. He's like, so just put a little stand with an LED readout on every table that shows what the person tips. It's like if you had a little readout on every table at a restaurant, and black customers like, oh, they compete to have the higher tip to show they're balling out.
I like that.
Right? I mean, they make it rain on strippers because, like, oh, look how much money I have to throw at them. But if you tip strippers in secret, they wouldn't tip them shit. You know, like you want to get
brilliant.
Yeah, and look, I don't blame them in some respects. Like I felt that way about taxes. I would gladly pay 90% of taxes if everything was free. All like if I got something for my money.
Yeah,
you know.
exactly.
But if we're fucking paying 13% in this state, have it burned down. I'm like, what the fuck am I paying the 13% for?
Crazy.
If you can't put out a fire, what the fuck am I paying? You know,
Dude,
it's one of those things. You know,
I'm on I turned 26 last year, so I'm on Medi-Cal now, free healthcare, and I'm allergic to nuts, and I had a peanut allergy a few months ago, and I go to this urgent care right here, and bro, I'm not kidding, they didn't help me until I answered 5 questions about COVID. I was like, hey, my throat's closing up. Like, I'm not even. I was like, but you go to an ER, it's like $1,300, but you go to an ER, they're pumping you with Benadryl and epinephrine right away. But the public healthcare is so bad to where it's like they're so concerned about asking me about COVID, asking me like, when was your last checkup? I was like, dude, let's just get it.
Get to the point where I'm here. I have a broken arm. What does that have to do with COVID?
Exactly. Yeah.
You know, it's also a little bit of a money grab too. Like, the problem is when you have such a weird insurance system, anyone who does have insurance, whether it's government funded or privately funded, they try and ram all the other expenses they have that couldn't get covered in insurance under your shit. So they'll start ordering fucking, crazy surgery or crazy tests and all this shit that you don't need. It's just a waste of fucking time. Yeah. But that's why one of these guys got fucking whacked a few months back.
Oh, dude, for sure. When that whole thing happened, my dad called me and he was like, he's from Boston. He's like, you see that fucking guy? You see Luigi? He's like, with the picture with the mask on, man, that could have been you. He's like, that looked like you, man. I was like, geez, thanks. That's a nice thing. I was like,
something with your life.
Yeah, you could
exactly. I was like, thanks for. I was like, that's a nice thing you ever said to me. Yeah. Thanks for thinking I'm capable.
I was almost proud of you. Then I found out it wasn't you, and I was disappointed you're my son again.
Fucking pussy.
There's still time.
Yeah, there's time. Yeah, we'll see.
Some people to kill.
We'll see next time I eat peanuts how they treat me.
All right, here's a quick one too. Though, let me ask you this: what do you think the world record is for the longest piss? How long do you think it was?
I think it was 2.5 minutes.
It just got broken. Listen to this. The world record for longest piss is 8.5 minutes.
Whoa.
It was achieved by a man in the UK. A guy named Georgy Serveshchev. So it sounds Russian, but he lived in the UK. He managed to urinate for an astonishing 508 seconds, just over 8 minutes and 28 seconds.
Was he full stream
on that bad boy? Yeah.
That's what I wonder. How do they measure that?
Because I've done some where I'm like, and then it's like, oh, you got
I'm
some
getting
more.
old, right? Sometimes I get up in the middle of the night and I'll pee some, and then like, there's a little more, and then squeeze it and come.
Oh yeah.
But that's a good question because a couple months back I read another Guinness Book of World story about a guy in Japan who masturbated for the longest time ever. It's like an annual competition.
It's got to be like a few days, right?
It was like 9.5 hours. It was something like that. I was like, how do they judge that? Like, what is the rule? Like, I could jerk myself dick for years. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm playing with my soft boner. I can do that all day.
A few times I've thought about going the distance for one.
Some long rainy days. Dude, but how do you? What is it like? Is it hand on cock the whole time?
That's what I'm saying. What are the specific rules?
Yeah, because that's like
obviously you can't do any PEDs, otherwise all these guys would be just snorting Viagra.
Yeah.
But do you have to maintain an erection? How hard does that erection have to be? Right. I mean, like, because a semi, does that count?
Because I could be like about to finish and be like, all right, just wait a sec.
Edging.
Like, all right,
like how do they judge this?
Dude,
how do they judge this? Dude, the craziest thing is they showed a video of him like practicing. I swear he was in Japan because they're weird stuff, and he's like little fiance is like cooking ramen in the fucking kitchen, and he's just in the living room watching porn, whacking off, and then she like come over and bring him a bowl of ramen. And he's like, thank you, and he's like just drinking with one hand and eating with his other, and I'm like, and she's just like not even like thinking it's weird that he's like beating off in the middle of dinner. Like,
that's so fun. Did you see that? Speaking of what's going on in the UK, these women, Bonnie Blue, that chick fucked 1,000 guys in a day.
Oh yeah.
And then Lily Phillips, the other UK porn star, was just like, well, I want to beat that. Like they're having like a war of how many guys they can fuck in a day.
I know, and
like,
I thought the sluts were all here in the United States.
I know. I was like, what the hell? Dude, in my head, and they're so like genuinely take the porn and the whole thing out of it. They're genuinely very pretty, both of them, and they seem very sweet and like not like whores, but like.
That OnlyFans money, son.
The OnlyFans, but bro, this
so
woman,
big,
this woman's
so
just,
big. The fucking women that could be real stars in LA are just say, "Fuck it, I'm going to OnlyFans."
I think it's the accent too.
Yeah,
and she's like beautiful blue eyes. She's just like, okay, so I posted the address on my Twitter. You guys should come. You don't have to do anything. Just come by and fuck me. It's crazy.
She's not testing all those guys.
I think
they probably are.
Maybe.
I bet they test every one of them.
Yeah, I just had a porn star on a couple weeks ago.
Well, I think they wore condoms too.
We talked about it. Oh, that doesn't count.
Really?
In my book, that doesn't count. I mean, you fucked a piece of plastic.
That's so funny.
I count condom sex the way women count guys they don't like that they had sex with.
Yeah.
It doesn't count.
Could you imagine if she did all that, 1,000 guys in a day, and they were like, oh, the Guinness book was like, oh, you used a condom? No, it's
Yeah, those
zero.
don't count.
We don't have a category for that.
Yeah, oh, that's,
You
yeah.
pussy.
Yeah.
They told us you're disqualified because they use condoms.
Yes. You fucking, what are they, you prude? You didn't do shit.
What I want to know is who's pulling up caboose on that train? And how worn is that? How worn in is that mitt? Because either it's really, really gross and blown out and sandy and dusty and not wet, or it's like a nice baseball mitt where it's really worked in.
Now you gotta bro, how does she I mean, she's got to have a six-pack after that. That's a lot of cardio. Like, holy shit.
Well, you're just laying there.
She's a champ.
She's not throwing it back on all of them. She's just laying there like a.
Oh, you don't.
They probably like medical. They put her in stirrups like in a fucking OBGYN.
It would be sick if she was not just doing it for the record, but doing it for glory too. I took a peek at part of it, but if she's
How
just
was it? Were they just all on the line waiting there, just
a lot of the dudes were wearing masks, so you could tell it was just random dudes pulling up. Be like, oh, fuck this girl. It was crazy, bro.
Yeah, guys would act disgusting.
And the last one she held up she come on her face. She got the 1,000 Wilt Chamberlain.
So they all came on her face.
I think it's the last few. Dude.
I was gonna say because if you're number 500 and there's 499 nuts on her face,
no, that's
I'm like, I
crazy.
can't fuck this cum bucket.
Crazy.
This pile of cum that.
That is crazy. But and afterwards, you see all the condoms on the floor. It's just like, bro.
They should have just got like a big bucket and see how much semen they could collect.
That'd be sick.
You just donate it to like a fertilization clinic.
Bro, you just donated it. Dude, could you imagine just whisking that and then pouring it into a
swimming
fucking
pool full of semen?
Dude, that would be. Bro, I wonder if you did that. If you just put a gallon of 10 different dudes' jizz, whisk it up, give it to a fucking insemination bank, put them in the test tubes, have ladies inseminate themselves. How does that?
How would they know?
How does it detect which kid? Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, you might have a black kid, a white kid. Who knows what you get, right? If you mix them all up like that.
Probably a lot of twins, right? A lot of trip.
Oh yeah, like the Danny DeVito fucking Arnold Schwarzenegger movie from the 90s, Twins.
Is that called Twins?
It was called Twins.
It's called Twins. Yeah, exactly like that. Yeah.
Oh man, always fun. Thanks for coming on, man.
Dude, yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah, we'll keep it short and sweet because we got to go to the next thing. Let the people know where to find you.
Where to find me, dude? Anthony Stiriti on Instagram. That's it. We're chilling, doing shows.
Go for the main one, huh? Yeah, you're making moves out there, man. I'm proud of you, but fucking, the fucking improv all the time. He's got his own shows. I came up here. He was doing the Sunday night show, and I was happy to come out. Now I got to fucking suck his dick to get some showtime.
Dude, well let's let's see if I can get 1,000 people sucking my dick. Dude, we'll put it on the internet. And
you never see that in reverse.
Well, no, yeah.
Who's the guy? Yeah, where's the male porn star who banged 1,000 chicks in a day?
People be like, this asshole. Like, yeah, if a guy did that.
Also, I feel like it doesn't count because I feel like it's completed for men when they come, but a guy can come 1,000 times in a day.
Those gay dudes don't need that porno to watch. They can just go on their phone and be like, hey, dude, they don't need to watch all that.
Yeah. Gay dudes
they can just get laid so fast.
That is true, yeah. Well, oh my God, yeah. I'm talking about a straight guy fucking 1,000 women.
That's funny. I would set out to
that
do
wasn't
that.
a guy fucking 1,000 people, which is guys or girls.
Dude, if as a guy, if I was like, I'm gonna fuck 1,000 women today, after the first or second, I'd be like, let's just watch some Family Guy.
Yeah,
let's just chill.
Dude, as soon as I bust my first nut, I'm like, why did I call her to come over to begin with?
Yeah, I'm like, all right, you can actually. Yeah.
Usually it's filled with regret.
Yeah, we're actually all set now. We'll do this tomorrow.
Yeah, man. Thanks for doing this, bud.
Dude, thanks for having me. This is sick.
Of course, brother. Obviously, follow him at Anthony Stiriti on Instagram and all of the platforms where you can find him. STIRITI.
Hell yeah.
A lot of eyes.
STI.
Follow me at Randy Valero. Follow the podcast at Ready to Siplo. Guys, thanks for listening. Obviously, rate, review, subscribe. All the shit I say at the beginning, and they never do. Love you guys. Take you next week. Peace.